Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me.
There's something loose between my legs.
I don't know. Let go!
I'm heavier than a freaking boat.
Nothing you can say can make that any better.
No more radio for the rest of the race.
I'm going home.
Welcome to DRS FC, an F1 podcast by soccer nerds. I am a soccer nerd. I am Andre Carlisle, and I'm here with two soccer nerds. Ebony, how are you?
I'm better than the feet pics in the group chat right now from Germany losing.
Listen, man, I don't know why we get tortured in the group chat. I didn't have nothing to do with it. The man who dropped them decided to call me a U.S. men's national team fan, and I'm like, I need reparations from that because don't ever say that. Like, to tell me that I root for that team. I'm a women's team, sure, but the men's team, get out of my face. It's been a time. The World Cup is tearing the group chat apart, one feet pick at a time. Unfortunate. Anyway, also here with a special guest, because as you may have heard, the World Cup has taken over, so we had to reach out and get a special guest on. Rachael, welcome.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for giving me the call.
Of course. Rachael, please introduce yourself. And I'm extremely interested to hear your intro because you seem like very eager to get into it when I said beforehand, just go for it. So let's see. How will you introduce yourself?
Oh, well, I just obviously, being myself, thought of all of the negative ways I could describe myself. You know, being the C word that doesn't volunteer, being Jessica Berman's biggest op. Like,
I mean, I like that one though.
I was going to say that you're welcome here. That's the one you lead with.
The first one to get banned under the new code of conduct hasn't happened yet, but I think I'm on a list.
We're on a list together. High five.
I'm also the self-appointed #1 fan club member of Princess Georgie Porgy Russell. So I'm here to make sure no one forgets about my cow-eyed cutie over there.
It wasn't the broadcast did it. We didn't do it.
yeah, sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guilty. I do think that this worked out very well for us to have a George Russell fan club member on the pod because otherwise we would probably forget about George. We are guilty, Ebony. We are guilty.
We are.
It's what we do.
Listen, it would just be like the days where we were all tired of Max dominating and we would like put our thumbs over 1 and then be like 2 through 19. That's our actual race.
I have said routinely, when Max is not in the picture, everybody has a much better time. So that wasn't quite the case with this race. And it also wasn't quite the case that anyone forgot about George because George made it impossible to forget about him, whether he's yabba dabba doing after a race, which Jesus Christ, can he not? But he also was on the top step of the podium, probably would have had the pole position given how he did have pole position given how the laps went, maybe wouldn't have had it depending on single yellow, double yellow, whatever. We'll get to it. But just real quick before we get into discussion about everything that happened, just want to throw it out there. We will talk about some qualifying because some wild things happen in qualifying. Very interesting to talk about. And it does inform what happened on race day. So we will talk about some of that. George won. Max Verstappen was second. Kimi Antonelli came in third. I think the top three were separated by less than 2 seconds across the finish line, which was just incredible. Ferrari had a tough day. Lewis Hamilton started third, finished fifth. Charles Leclerc started second, finished eighth. There was some great battling between Lewis and Max early before we realized, the Ferrari ain't got it for this fight. Ferrari's got like 5 laps in it, and then it's a wrap. And so it was a wrap. So that was unfortunate. McLaren came in fourth and seventh with Piastri coming in fourth. Racing Bulls got double punts. I said punts. Cadillac managed to do a grand total of 6 laps before everything blew up or melted on their car, which they brought a bunch of new upgrades to their car, and then the car just blew up and melted in the heat, which was a very, very hot day and a very, very hot race. So I think that's part of talking about it as well when we get into it. So let's get into it. First topic I really want to talk about, because I'm probably going to be a hater, but I want to go to Rachael on this one. George, lucky or smart in victory?
So I spent a lot of time thinking about this afternoon because yes, and also like universally no. So I think that George is one of the like hardest working and like most I studied to be here boys on the grid. I think that he lacks all of the like natural talent that we see in our Oscars and our Lewises, obviously, like, you know, in our blueprints and our Maxes, the guys who were like, they are born to drive a car. I could see George being a farmer. The thing he always says is like his second job or like what he would be doing. Like that boy is not natural at anything except for like lounging on a yacht. He does it very well. Everything else, I'm like, you worked so hard to be here. And that is why you are so annoying on the radio. It's why you know every rule in there. It's why you are the head of the Drivers Association. Like, you are me. You are organized. You are never going to be called out on like, I don't know the rules here. Dougie and I got into a fight because he was talking shit. And I was like, oh, you're mad at him for knowing the rules and knowing how to apply them in real life scenario? Go cry. And he was like, great. I hope he gets shoved in a locker. And I was like, cool, me too. I'll be there with him. You're mad? You're mad.
I hope he gets shoved in a locker is like,
I mean, accurate. And also like, hands? But yeah, so I think he's very smart. I think he has worked really hard. I think he knows that he is second banana. I wonder if that has to do with like coming up to Williams and Williams like almost folding while he was there and like having to not literally, but like hot glue his car together to make it go. And then he ends up at Mercedes and he's obviously second banana behind Lewis because how are you ever going to be driver number one with Lewis? Like, please. So he has all of this going on around him. And I think he just has like aggressive imposter syndrome. But that's my little like armchair psychology of George Russell.
I think it's fair, all of it. And obviously it depends on how you view those things, whether you're a fan of them or not. But I do think that is very true. He does know the rules. And so what I talked about in qualifying was first things first, Max crashes. It's Q3. Everybody's going through. The Ferraris put up some pretty good times. Lewis comes out. It looks like he's got pole. He didn't have a first run because what happened with Lewis in his first run? I can't remember what happened with. Oh, I think he messed up on turn 3. That big up the hill, that big turn, the one that causes so many problems, or caused so many problems over the weekend. But he messed up on that one, and so he didn't go out to set like a banker lap. So that was his only try in Q3. Does a really good job. Puts it on provisional pole. Leclerc comes, puts it on provisional pole. And then you have Max, who looks like he's about to top the times, except he gets to right at the end, right around the pit entry, and he has wheels on the curb. He's turning, the back end goes out, and he slides and flies into the wall. Very, very weird crash. Doesn't really happen. I love how Red Bull immediately was like, "Oh, it was our fault. Our bad. Max is great. Max is the best driver ever. It was us. We didn't close the wing quick enough. Sorry. It's not Max." And it was like, chill out, y'all. Like, every driver crashes. Just take it easy. It's fine. But because of that crash happened, there was controversy. George and Kimi were on tremendous laps. Looked like either one of them was going to get pole. Either way, it looked like they were going to end up sharing the front row. Except when the lights go on to tell you if it's a single yellow or a double yellow means that's it. Everybody's lap is deleted. That's it. I don't care if you were 5 seconds up. It's a wrap. You're not. That lap does not count. It's a safety thing. Single yellow means just show us that you tried. Which showing that you tried to like brake a little bit, it's just like you just do a little feather on the brakes. Just as long as you can show in the data that, oops, a little blip of I hit the brakes, I tapped it, I breathed on the brakes, that's good enough. And that's what George did because he saw it was single yellow. Kimi thought it was double yellow, and so he completely bailed out of his lap. That's how Kimi ended up finishing qualifying where he did, and George ended up on pole, which, by the way, respect to George, okay? I will say this. The fact that Ferrari had put up pretty decent laps and looked like at least one of them was going to be on the front row, and I guess one was because only one of the laps counted from the Mercedes, but George had enough time in hand to do a fake liftoff, still not lose enough time, and still put it on pole by over 2/10. That's kind of outrageous. I don't know where the hell that lap came from. I wish they would have replayed the entire thing because he must have absolutely nailed every single corner there was. It was impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that like the difference between George and Kimi on that lap is the difference between somebody who's been around and somebody who is, no knock on him because he should still be in this position at 19, but also at like a year and a half in, who's relying on his engineer and his team to be like, okay, this is what it means. Because I think the difference between their times was really like, I know what to do in this moment, and Dad just told me to chill.
That's very fair, because that's what I was literally going to say. Like, it literally was like he was relying so much on other people in his ear, and George was just like, no, I'm driving. Yeah. So that split-second decision like ruined his qualifying, which is sad because it would have been a very fun race with the two Mercedes up front, especially with the start that Kimi had. But that's a different point.
All right. But before we talk about that, Ebony, I wanted to get you in on the lucky versus smart question for George in this race.
It felt very fortunate. He was smart in a lot of ways, but sometimes you just got to have that luck of like a battle going so you get further ahead. He had the perfect mix of like 70% smart, 30% luck, which gave him a fantastic race. He, like, at the end when he was winning, they weren't even showing him crossing the line. They were still focused on Max and Kimi in second and third, like battling. There was like 0.2 seconds separating them at one point in that last lap. So like they tried their hardest to make us forget about him because it was such a mundane race for him. He just did what he had to go do. And that was what it also felt like when like you were watching Max race, or even sometimes Lewis. Like he was 30 seconds ahead. So you were like, oh, well, what's the battle of fourth and fifth look like? I guess. Sure. Like That's what this was. Obviously there's some championships to be had there, but it was still just a really solid performance for at least one Mercedes over the weekend. Now the other one,
I have a comp for the other one, but real quick, I want to say, the thing I do appreciate about George, and this is if I don't have to compete against him. If I had to compete against him, I'd hate his guts. But if he has a little bit of an advantage, good fucking luck getting it away from him, taking it away from him. He makes sure that he has whether it's pits, he did not let Verstappen undercut him. Absolutely not. We're coming into the pits first. We're taking care of this. You're going to react to me. Remember in Barcelona, Lewis caught him with that 3-stop, which, by the way, Ferrari, find a new trick. But like, we'll talk about that. But like, he didn't let that happen. He knew who his race was with. And he also, I think, very strategically played because of how erratic Kimi was. Kimi's going to have to deal with Max at some point, and that's only going to benefit me. So like Ebony just said, the Max and Lewis battle really helped George out. He was able to just stay out in front, keep a few seconds ahead, didn't let anybody get overtake mode on him, and he was able to drive comfortably, protect his tires. And when it was time to come in and protect and make sure he wasn't undercut, he came in, he made sure he wasn't undercut. And then he continued to do that same thing throughout the entirety of the race, where eventually it was like, oh no, is Max Verstappen going to catch him? Then it was like, oh no, is Kimi going to catch Max? And that was the real battle. And that was all kind of really well thought out and planned by George. Mm-hmm. So I do think it's a combination of things in terms of luck and him being smart. But that's kind of what it is with top tier sports, especially in F1. The margins are so small. Like we said, 2 seconds between these three cars. The margins are so small, and George Russell made sure that he had the margin he needed to cross the line first. It was impressive.
What does segue into Kimi is that something that I've seen as the only George fan, it's me and Carmen, and holding down the George fan club, is that he has matured in a way that is either like maturity or a good ass beta blocker. Because normally if there was a fight like that behind him with where like Kimi or Max might overtake the other and then overtake him, we've seen what happens. Like Singapore is a real trauma for me. Like I get it. I know that this man is too emotional to be a driver in all of this, and he showed growth in that department. Clearly he's still whining on the radio, because we did hear Toto during quali be like, just drive, George. And I felt that. But like, he's matured in a way where I'm like, what is happening with you? You are not emotional. You are not afraid of everything. You are competitive.
I think Monaco changed him this year.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think that was him entering into his like it's time to like crack down. Like,
Hope so.
yeah, like I think he did too much in that race.
Oh yeah.
And so like, and I think he got read the riot act from
Yeah. I mean that's pretty much the George thing, which is annoying, which is why I did like you mentioned, Rachel. That's why I like the message from Toto. I feel like Toto needs to have like just program that as a message to send to feed George like every 20 minutes, because George is always so concerned about everything else that's happening. He wants to race his race and everybody else's race. He just needs to know what else is going on. He doesn't want any surprises. On one hand, I get it. On the other hand, shut up and drive the car. Like, honestly, just do that. You're in a great Mercedes. If you feel comfortable in it, it's going to be very hard to beat you. Maybe Ferrari comes out with this random 3-stop that you didn't see coming and they end up beating you. Yeah, that sucks, but drive your race, pick up your points, you'll be fine. These things happen, and you're in the best car on the grid. You'll be okay. It ain't like somebody's going to outsmart you every single weekend. Just drive, beat Kimi. That's your only goal. Beating his teammate is what he's always focused on anyway. Go be focused on that. Speaking of his teammate. Jesus Christ, Kimi. That first lap was insane. What was he doing? He was off the track about 3 different times this is a short track. It was like within the first 30 seconds of the lap, he was off the track 3 different times. My comp in my head, no spoilers, but if anybody watches House of the Dragon, all right, episode 1 of the new season, Kimi was on his sheep stealer shit. I don't know what was happening with him. He was just like out there being a wild boy. I don't know what this is. Luckily for him, it worked out, but also it's super erratic, and he could have crashed into a number of cars.
No frontal lobe. Not a frontal lobe.
He literally said, if I just cut across all of this grass, I can be in first. And he did it for 3 laps at the same place 3 times.
I can do whatever. I can cut corners. It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's great.
It's fine. I'm 19. It doesn't matter.
He was, so Toto had a great quote at the end of this race where he said, like, what did he say? You can't make a donkey fast, but you can calm down a racehorse, which I think is it's a bar. It's an absolute bar, but it makes you understand what they're trying to do with Kimi, and they failed in terms of calming him down. At least the first few laps, it was a failure. I want to hear Toto and Bono on the radio to him, because Kimi was like, it's that thing that they used to always say, like, you can't win a race on like the first lap or turn 1, but you can certainly lose it. Kimi does not understand that yet. That concept has not seeped into his brain yet. He was just like, Kimi not in lead. Kimi get in lead. Kimi take turn and go around all cars. And it's like, Kimi, chill the fuck out. You have 71 laps, my guy. Please do not go off the track on like 3 of the first 4 corners. What are you doing? It was insane.
Now. It's such Gen Z. Now.
So much. I woke up, it's because I'm in Portland, it was 6 a.m. and I was just like, maybe I can snooze through the first cup. No. Kimi's doing a chaos. There will be no snoozing. Caffeine now. Like, okay, stay up so that you see what this 19-year-old terrorist is going to do. He's going to do something.
Everybody was just like, what's happening? Because I think he ended up cutting Charles off. So then he had to give the spot back, but then he did it in a terrible position to where he was now also battling Max at a point. And then he did it, well, first he did it to the McLarens, ended up splitting them. That was a mess. And then nothing made sense for like 3 laps with him. And everybody's just kind of like, what is this racing we're doing? Is this racing? And then you get the Lewis and Max, which we've battle, which we've been seeing a lot of this year, which has been so much fun.
I was gonna say, I'm loving it. Like, I have not loved it in years past, partially because like LH's car has not been up for the fight, and I hate that. But like, we've had some fun moments with those two, and we've had some fun like social interactions with them too that I feel like has been missing for a long time to sort of like diffuse any of the fan flames. So it's like, oh, we're just having two real good drivers fighting each other. How blessed.
We do. However, I'm a fan whose flame will not be diffused. I still hate Max. but I can appreciate where they're at. I just will always say Lewis is a better man than me. Like, given what happened in 2021, I would never be cool with that dude ever. So like, he can be cordial, he can have battles on track, he can come out ahead, he can sometimes come out behind, and he's going to be fine. He's going to be cool. They can be in the cool down room talking or whatever, and it's going to be cordial, it's going to be fine. He better than me. But that was incredible. And actually, the reason why Leclerc, like Max got behind George because of Kimi Wyland. And it was really the battle between Lewis and Max that really ended up helping out George. But we got something cool in that battle. Not only was it like the wheel-to-wheel thing that we were certainly missing in the previous generation of cars, which, by the way, everybody who was complaining every single weekend nonstop about these regulations, chill out. Please chill out. Like, we're getting this. We even got this early in the season when they were like, oh, it's fake overtaking. You want DRS trains back or not, my guy? Like, take it easy. But like, this was fun. And not only was this fun, did y'all see the drone shot they got of this?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Wow. I know some people are not into it, and I was like, I want this.
Right? I was like, Scorsese, absolute cinema. I was like, this feels scripted. This does not feel like something that is happening live and just in a sport. This feels like a scripted shot of a movie. It was so cool to see that. I was like, please keep doing that. They maybe went to it one time too many, because by the time you're like flying sideways on a big screen early in the morning, you're kind of like, all right, just let me get my bearings about me. But honestly, it was dope. Like, when they like nailed it in that battle between them, I thought it was awesome, and I want to see more of that.
Yeah.
That like was really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I want to move on to Ferrari, but I don't want to move on just yet, because I'm wondering if I'm going to be like old man yelling at clouds on this situation. All right. We talked about Kimi and how wild he's been. I do think that at some point you got to calm him down. Like, I don't know if penalties need to come into play or what, but he needs to be calmed down in some of these scenarios, because he's getting away with a lot, but it's not like he is impacting the race. Like last time at Austria last year, he T-boned Max. Like, there are certain, he found a way not to T-bone a car, but I think one of them was just like smart enough to get out of his way. But like, I think some of this erraticism is, yeah, he's young. And as Rachel said, his frontal lobe is not fully developed. But like, he definitely, it feels like he's not doing anything like super illegal, but it does feel like when you're constantly off the track, even in Barcelona, he kept getting these like track violations, like you're exceeding track limits warnings, and he eventually got penalized for it. Like, at some point, keep the car on the track. And I don't feel like that's a hard ask of an F1 driver. And the fact that he can't seem to do it, and everybody is just like, oh, Kimi's so great, which he is, but they ignore this is a pretty serious flaw in his game, at least early in races, where he just consistently does this. And I don't really know what to do about it, except for, because it's not being punished, except for Bono just working with him one-on-one and being like, you gotta calm down, guy, or else like, it didn't hurt his race too much in Austria. He still finished third. Probably could have got Max, though.
Yeah. It reminds me, with less talent, of Liam a few years ago, when he was just like, I've got nothing to lose. All this, like, flipping people off, running people off the road, getting into fights with everyone. Like, it reminded me of that sort of uncontrolled emotional driving. And part of me is absolutely like, he's 19. That's how 19-year-olds drive. But also, like, everyone is, and this is not a bad thing. Please do not say that I'm trying to bully the children. That is not what's happening. Everyone was so nice to the babies last year. The 5 babies who came up, they all like adopted them. We had all those like fabulous memes of like Max and the ducklings and like Lewis writing all the messages to Kimmy and like, you know, everyone really taking this like mentor, mentee, big brother, little brother relationship really seriously. And it makes me think that maybe we were too nice to the kids. Do they not know that we're like racing?
Competing? Yeah.
Do they not know that if anyone else had T-boned Max last year, he would have like killed them and their whole lineage? Like there's part of me that's like, kid gloves are so nice. How beautiful that we have this like grace. And also, fuck those kids.
I was just about to say, so the episode is going to be called Rachel Says Fuck Them Kids. That's what it feels like. And I do it like last year was fun because you had so many rookie drivers on the grid and it was just cool to see how they were embraced. And even like when Kimi went on his winning streak of 5 in a row, you could see Lewis at the end was getting a little annoyed. He's like, oh, you're going to catch me. Ha ha ha. And it wasn't such a joke anymore. But like he was lifting him up.
Niceness of, oh,
right.
Nice, buddy.
He was like lifting him up. He was celebrating him, making sure he was always like first to congratulate him. And so like, that part of it, I'm like, this is really cool, but at some point this is going to end because this is still competition. And while he may be a novelty right now, he's in Formula One for a very long time. And he's going to start chasing down and eating all of those records if he continues to win like this. So at some point, we will see a change. And we might have already seen it.
Stop being nice and start getting real.
As millennials know, that's what you have to do.
Not here to make friends. How many of these millennial reality show lines?
You can keep adding them. There's just so many.
Right. All right. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, without him doing like a specific violation of something, I don't know what you can do, but obviously there's always that like first lap, first turn leniency, but it gets to a point where you're impacting other cars' race, even though you're not crashing into them. More so, it's just them avoiding you because you're bonkers. And if that's the case, then maybe they do need to say tighten things up a little bit and say, all right, well, you can't do that. If you're going to keep driving off the track, we're going to have to say, like, we're going to have to put a stop to that because you can't keep doing that every single race. It is weird. All right, let's talk about Ferrari. Yeah. So their one neat trick, it worked in Barcelona. And so they said, you know what, Lewis, we're going to do it again. You're starting you on softs. We're going to do a 3-stop and we're going to see what happens. And what happened was... Did he
start on softs or mediums? I thought it was medium.
Oh, was it mediums? I thought he started on softs.
He went soft, hard. I mean, he went medium, hard, and then soft, and then
soft at the end.
Hard.
And then hard at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he have 2 hard stints? Oh, you've got notes.
Oh, she got
Hell
notes.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
I printed it out.
That's incredible. Okay, so can you give us the rundown of what he started on and like what he changed to?
So he started on mediums. And he did that for, let's see here, about 12 laps. And then he went to hards for about the same amount of time and then soft for a little bit longer and then finished on hards. And it looks like he finished on hards right after like this 42nd lap. So he got a lot out of his hards at the end, but that's a lot of stops.
It is a lot of stops.
I don't think they were going to do a 3-stop until that virtual safety car came out. And then they were like, oh, come in the pits. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay. Right. So they kind of screwed themselves with like, oh, we're going to do a 2-stop. And then they thought that the virtual safety was going to be like their saving grace of like, oh, he can sneak in and catch up. Because that's what they did it for. They thought they were going to catch up with the softs, and then he had a hard time getting past the freaking McLarens. So then they had to come back and be like, all right, scrap that. Yeah. Put the hards back on. Let's go. You just ruined his race.
Yes. Yeah,
One thing I was
Kardashian curse. We already have the Ferrari curse.
So that's what I was worried about. I was like, if you're combining curses, my guy, you just like, this is bad. This is bad. And maybe they cancel each other out, and so he's neutral now, and we'll see. I don't know, but like
him to
I'm scared.
Curses, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. Here's my concern with Ferrari, though. Like, yes, it was funny that they went to the 3-stop again, but after Barcelona, and Barcelona is a track where we've said before, testing used to happen at Barcelona because it gives you a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. And that's why the teams love to test it. They don't really love testing at Bahrain because Bahrain can lie to you in certain situations. But Barcelona gives you a lot of good information because you can kind of test every aspect of your car. So it is good news. But Austria is a completely different track. Austria is basically like 3 straights connected by a couple turns. And only like 2 of them are slow. And even the one that is slow is kind of more medium than it is because they cut it so sharply in these cars now. They don't really have to rotate the wheel too much. They can just like keep the throttle down and go around it and kind of U-shape that thing instead of having to turn it the way they do at the top of the hill on turn 3. That's impressive. But it's a completely different challenge. And I think what we heard after Barcelona was, Ferrari is going to get this Aduo thing. So they're going to have a new engine. They have these trick wheel rims that give them cooling or heat or can warm up their tires, whichever one they want, because these wheel rims, like Ferrari has the best chassis. Ferrari is in this fight. We come to this race and the deg on their tires is worse. That's why I think they had to do a 3-stop, to be honest. They didn't even run the hard tire in any of the practice sessions, so they had no idea what lap times it could do, which is weird.
That's so weird.
Very weird. If that's going to be part of your strategy, maybe use the tires. I don't know.
Why are we brainstorming in live situations?
Yeah, I don't get that at all. And they were just like, you know what? 3-stop Ferrari. This is what we do, baby. We're going to do it again. And I think the problem was, unlike Barcelona, the track is fast and it's short in Austria. Mm-hmm. And so every time they pit Lewis and he came back out, he was in a lot of traffic. And that's how you chew up your tires. You're not able to gain the time that you would to make that strategy work, because still, the thing that was impressive about Lewis in Barcelona was he was making up the time wasted in those pit stops on the track. That's what you really want to do. And he was fast enough to do it, but he was held up in a lot of traffic and a lot of cars took a long time to pit. So he was stuck behind them. Even though he had much fresher tires, he was still stuck behind them because his short track doesn't give you a ton of overtake opportunities. And he was eating up his tires in the process. And so I just think it was bad overall. So I'm sad again because I thought Ferrari was back and they're not.
But they're consistent. And don't we love consistency? She's trying. She's trying to find a silver.
I appreciate it. # ally.
Man, Ferrari being what they are is so heartbreaking because, like, they're both such, like, great drivers and they're so fun and we all want. I mean, it's hard because I want them both to win a championship and obviously they can't both win. And so it's like, well, neither of them can win at this point, but, you know, like in this imaginary world I have where they both win, it's like, damn, that can't happen. And this team is just not it.
I mean, Charles is also just like,
I don't know what's going on with Charles.
Yo, I don't know either.
I need him to take a long drive, like, to clear his mind.
But nowhere near lakes or rivers or bodies of water or that he might drive off of. He's like, he likes that one video, and I was like, no, don't jump.
Like, he signed that extension, and I'm just like, yo.
Why? I mean, I get it. And also, like, oh, baby, no.
I maintain that I think Charles is an interesting case. I agree. Like, we need to make sure that his intrusive thoughts don't win, because that is a problem. That is a risk right now where he's at. But I think that he also, I think we talked about this too when Lewis won, and we talked so much about the remember who you are thing. I think Charles still has this view of himself as just fortunate to be able to drive for Ferrari. He holds them in such high regard, and I get it, but he holds them in such high regard. He thinks this is the best team ever. If Ferrari can't succeed, it's my fault. I'm not good enough or whatever. Like he said, after his crashes, what was a race or 2 races ago, he said he's ashamed of himself. I'm like, Charles, Stop. You're amazing. You're really good. The car right now has some things that are difficult for you to cope with. Get it. Understandable. But like, it's okay. I'm worried about that guy now because his mindset does not seem like it's in a good spot right now. And that's concerning because he just got married. His wife is gorgeous. His dog is adorable. He has all the money in the world. You're one of the best drivers on the grid still.
Yep.
I need you, sir, to remember who you are.
And like, if Lance Stroll can Lance Stroll every week and not have a moment of reflection or like, maybe I'm the problem, maybe I shouldn't be here. Charles, what are you doing? Like, come on. I mean, I've got imposter syndrome too, but like, I can look, if I had a Lance Stroll who was in my life, I would be like, well, at least I'm not Lance.
Right. I think maybe that is the solution for Charles. Just start talking shit about everybody else in the paddock because like you can, like he's got a leg up on pretty much every driver there. And I like a lot of the drivers, but there's a lot of drivers that he's just flat out better than. And so like he needs to accept that. And it doesn't seem like he does at the moment. And that makes me sad, even though given how perfect his life is otherwise, maybe it's fine. Maybe he needs a little bit of friction.
You should also throw in Alonso in there too, because that radio call, that call from, was it the commentators on BBC?
God. Sky commentators.
Sky Sports. Oh my God.
Can you tell the people what he said? Because I swear to God, I was in my living room. It was early, but I was almost on the floor.
So funny. So I believe, paraphrasing, he got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and they literally were essentially just like, at least the car's fast somewhere.
Yo, that came out of nowhere, and I was like, damn, you didn't have to say that, but I'm so glad that you did.
Nah, they had to say it. It was out of pocket to the extreme, because at the beginning of the broadcast on Apple TV, they were talking about how there was a chance that Alonso was going to go to Alpine at the middle of the season. And then they're like, he's changed his mind. He's just going to finish the season at Aston Martin. And I'm like, they don't need Alonso at Alpine. Their drivers are doing just fine, which is shocking. Okay.
Yes.
I'm proud of my boys, but that's shocking. And it's just, and then to hear that commentary is what literally sent. I think I cried laughing for like a good 3 to 5 minutes.
It was tremendous. It was a tremendous bar.
I love it. Like, he's not quite in the Basque region, so he's not quite in my like elite category, but like, man, he is. I love him.
Alonso?
Yes.
He's
so fucking funny to me. Like, he's like, I did not follow him or F1 when he was winning, when he was winning and doing well. So I've only known him as this like old man who's like maybe dating pop stars and like maybe doing whatever and now has a baby. And I'm like, what? Who are you?
Honestly, the baby came out of nowhere.
It really did. So I was like, what?
I was like, I didn't know you had a girl. Okay.
Right. I was like, all right. Okay, Gramps. And all right. Okay. That no questions. No
65
questions.
At kindergarten is crazy.
Wow. Live your life. Live your life, I suppose. But yeah, couldn't be me. I'm sorry. When you get to a certain age, nah, I ain't got time for kids.
Not a young man's game.
Yeah, no, can't be chasing kids around. I mean, obviously he's going to be paying somebody to do that, so I guess it'll be fine. But like, it's weird. All right. Before we move on, because we do need to get to accountability corner and review some of the predictions we made before Austria, and we need to award our Zoomy and Gloomy boys because that is a thing that we always do in these review episodes. I just want to ask one question, and I'm a little curious about this. Red Bull was complaining about it, but it seems like this track kind of showed that the FIA might not have been bullshitting for once in their lives. Like, they said that Red Bull has the most powerful engine, not battery, but engine. And this track is a track that if your engine is great, it's going to show on this track. And we saw McLaren with Piastri looked a lot better. Mercedes, obviously strong, but also Max and Red Bull. And even Hadjar was up there too. He wasn't too far away. And we saw Ferrari fall back. And we know that their engine was down on power. They have one of the max allowances for this ADUO thing that is kicking in. And so, FIA correct? Question mark?
I refuse to co-sign for a man.
My attorney has advised me not to answer the question.
I mean, Ben Sulayem, the president, also just removed term limits. Yeah. So he was just like, oh, actually, no, I'm going to be around forever. Everybody okay with that? And they voted and they were like, sure, sounds great to us. I don't, how the FIA is run, the more you read about it, the more batshit, the more dictatorial, the more ridiculous it sounds. So
people ain't got nothing on them.
I'm saying it is weird how corrupt this shit is. But they may have been right about the engine. They may have been right about Red Bull's engine because it did look a lot better than it has every other weekend. I think Max had one other podium. Was that Japan? I can't remember. When did he have another? He had another podium situation. Ooh. And I don't remember what race it was. It has been a while. Yeah. But if it was Japan, that makes sense because that one's another one that will really highlight an engine. And I'm just going to keep talking and filibustering until I scroll through and I find out when it was. Canada. So another one with long straights. And
another one that was hotter than we expect.
Yeah, that is also true. Yeah, it was hotter than we expected.
So then Silverstone should really be fun then.
Oh my God. So the Silverstone review is going to be interesting because
I know you're not there, but my household is heading up to Canada on the 4th, and I have intentionally stacked our ferries to make sure. I mean, it's at the sprint is at 4, but still I was like, no, we have stuff to do, and then we're getting the fuck out of here. We are not celebrating this girl's birthday. We are leaving.
I respect it. And also Silverstone being a sprint race, who in the hell is making these decisions?
Yeah, that's a little odd.
That's a long ass track to be doing a sprint.
British drivers, and they all want a podium. And so this is a conspiracy.
You know what? I'm behind that conspiracy because this makes no sense.
They all want a
otherwise.
grandstand?
Pretty much. Pretty much. All right, let's move on and get to accountability corner, and then also our Zoomy and Gloomy Boys, where I'm sure more things that we haven't got into yet will come up. All right, here we go. Accountability corner. This is always fun, especially when I forget to put one of my suggestions in here because that means I can't be wrong.
Wow.
Love that for me. Kyle said Kimi was winning the race. He said Lewis was second, and he said Lando would be third.
Dang, Kyle.
Nope.
That was that honeymoon bounce.
Yeah, I think so. He was riding high, and nope, didn't happen. Donald didn't get married, but he said Lewis was winning the race. He said Kimi was second, and he said Max was third. Close. He almost got it. Almost got 2 and 3, but Lewis certainly did not win this race. I did say Kimi would win. I said Max was going to be second. Shout out to me. I did get that one right. But I did say Lewis was going to be third, and he was not. He was fourth instead. So not far away. Or he was fifth, sorry. Not far away. Deep D had Lewis first, Max second, and Charles third.
Putting Charles anywhere near podium right now just feels mean.
Yeah,
it does. Hopium. It's a lot of hopium, I think. But it's also belief in Ferrari that if Ferrari's doing better, which again, belief in this version of Charles and Ferrari.
The Lulu Island, baby.
Yeah. Get your merch. We'll talk about it. All right, in constructor scrap. We cannot choose Cadillac or Aston Martin. That is the rule. Both of those have been banned because it's just easy pickings, and so we got to choose. Who actually had the least amount of points?
Cadillac.
Yeah, but we can't choose them. So who was it? Well, Audi. I know Audi was close. I think Bortoleto was 11th.
Yeah.
Who else had 0 points? Williams. Did Williams have
Alpine
0
had
points?
0 because we were in 13th and 15th.
I love that you say we. It makes me happy.
Other than Aston Martin and
Haas.
it's gonna be Williams.
Yeah, Haas and Williams as well. So okay, those are the ones that had none, and the most points is obviously Mercedes. So let's get to the predictions. Donald said most points Mercedes. Congratulations. He said least points Williams.
He's right on both.
He was. Deepty said most points Ferrari. Didn't happen. Least points, she put nothing. So I guess she's right. And me, I did the same thing. Most and least points, I forgot to fill those in. The power went out. Actually, I was supposed to be on that episode. My power went out because we had some brutal storms. And so I just got mad and lost the internet connection and didn't finish filling everything in. So whoops, my bad. That's it. That's what happened. All right, let's get to Zoomy and Gloomy Boys. Rachel, start with your gloomy, because this is who we think had a poor overall weekend relative to expectations. And then Zoomy Boy. So let's start with the bad news, finish with the good news.
So less so about expectations, but I love Pierre Gasly. And now you may have noticed I've said that I love just about everyone on the grid, and that is correct, and I will not be challenged. But I have this new theory about Pierre Gasly that he was not actually the mean Frenchman, and that it was actually Esty Basti who may have been the problem in their relationship. And this is supported by how much Pierre has taken Isaac under his wing, and they're like French buddies and watching soccer together. Anyway, all of this is to say, I adore Gas. I love that he got his Monaco trophy. I'm sad because I, again, love Isaac. And so it's like all this where I'm like, okay, there's so much going on. So I was like, well, maybe he'll have a great race. And then they cut to, at the end of the race, he's already done, terribly. He's in 13th, all of this. They cut to him standing and watching the results board, melancholy. And I'm just like, I'm not going to cry over a man. I'm not going to cry over a man I do not know with millions of dollars. And also, I'm going to cry over a man. This sucks. And it just left me with this, really sad feeling. And, Cadillac can't hurt me. They, whatever. They can't hurt me. I don't care.
Merch FC.
Fun. Valtteri can't hurt me. He's in my bathroom. It's fun. But that, just watching Gas look at the results, I was like, no.
I really wanted to know what was going through his mind, because he was standing there staring, glaring for a long time. And I was like, as a driver who sees that every single time you're finished with a race, you should know exactly what you're looking at and get the information you need. And so the fact that he was standing there for, it felt like 30 consecutive seconds, just staring at the screen, was like, oh, he's having a moment. This is existential.
Also the first time they've had a really, really, really bad weekend all season. You can argue some position, one or two. This was a bad weekend. Yeah. And I think he was just how does this happen, especially after the high of what we pulled off in Barcelona. Mm-hmm. So I could see why that's your gloomy.
I could be watching the national team. I don't have to be here. This sucks. It's oh, Gas. I'm so sorry, baby.
It was tough. All right. On the other side, who is your Zoomy?
Max. Here's the thing. Regardless of how you feel about him, and I have a lot of feelings about him, I think he's a dick. I think he is probably autistic. I think he's deeply traumatized. I think he is an incredible driver. I think he is the most unintentionally hilarious person on the planet. I am Max, I want to be friends with you, but also we would both get into a room together and be like, I don't want to do this. So just watch him have a good race where he's on point. He's driving really well. He's not really making any of the emotional responses that he can make, where he's okay, I'm mad, I'm going to crash you out now. It was oh, something has clicked with him. He's having a nice weekend. Maybe it's because he threatened to go to a monastery, or not a monastery, go hang out with monks for 2 months after the season for some reason. And I'm you do have an you cannot just leave your child, but okay, sure. Whatever. I'm sure Kelly will be fine, but also don't leave your wife and children. but he just like, there was something about it where I was like, this is fun. You are driving fun and you are contributing to the conversation without being problematic. And like, thank you for giving me a moment where I can root for you and not feel gross. So it was fun. It was fun for me personally. Thank you, Max.
I will accept it. Because you are new, I have a question for you about Max and his threats to leave the sport if they don't do what he wants them to do with the regulations. Your overall just quick thoughts on that, because we've talked about it a lot, and obviously I'm not here for that shit, but as somebody who maybe likes Max a little bit more than I do, I'm curious about your thoughts.
Dude, do it or don't. Like, shut up. This is boring. I don't care. Like, okay, you're not happy? Go do something else. Don't talk to me about it. Like, I gave you my opinion. I don't care anymore. Do it or don't. Like, you know
Honestly,
you know everything you need to know. Do you want to do it? Do you not want to do it? Because I don't give a fuck. Like, if you want to go and be like an escargot taster somewhere, go and do it. God bless. Go with God.
That's such a niche thing.
Associating, I'm like, what would be the most obscure thing? Sure, whatever.
And he's already doing sim racing.
Yes. And if that is what you want to do, I love that for you. And actually, thank you for reminding me. Speaking of sim racing, I think that this is the first race in a while where I've seen Max actually driving like a race car driver and not like a sim driver, because he is so accustomed to what it's like to sim that sometimes I think he forgets what it's like to actually drive in real life conditions. And it's that sort of like, it's a conversation that's happening in the World Cup too with the offside technology, where it's like, do we want technically correct or do we want to have fun? Because I want to have fun. I don't care if you wore a size 9 today and therefore you're not offside. I don't care if you've got a fat ass. Actually, I do. I deeply want you to have a fat ass. But like, I don't care if you've got a fat ass. That's why you're offside. Like, I don't need it to be technically correct. I want to have fun. And when Max is driving like an actual driver, he is having fun. But when Max is driving like a sim driver, I'm like, I don't watch e-racing for a reason, baby. Like, I don't want to do this. So, yeah. So, do it or don't, Max. Like, leave me out of it. Like, I don't care anymore.
Shout out to you for bringing up the offside rule. This is DRS FC after all. But I feel like we cannot get stuck there because I am going to scream. I'm going to scream for 20 consecutive minutes. And
He was
nobody
so
will want
angry.
to hear that. Oh.
Liv and I spent like the first half of yesterday's match being like, this is bullshit. You guys don't like soccer. And then I'm like, every time a goal scores, I'm like, where's the flag?
Yeah.
Oh no. Can I celebrate? What's happening?
Or you're just waiting. You see them celebrate and you just like look at every shot of the ref you get. You're like, get your fucking finger away from your ear. Stop it. Don't do it.
You cannot just outsource your job. You are the one on the field with your ugly flag. Stop listening to the voices in your head. I don't give a fuck.
There's so many things to say about the offside rule, but ultimately regarding Max, this is exactly how I feel. You're Max Verstappen. You've won 4 championships. Yeah. You have all the money in the world. You have the name recognition. You're one of the best drivers ever already. Like, whatever you want to do, they're going to welcome you in to do it. Like you said, escargot tasting. If you want to start a construction business, whatever you want to do with your life, you're going to be able to do it. So just shut up and do it. Don't hold the sport hostage being like, oh, you got to earn the right for Max Verstappen. You know how many drivers there are that want to be in F1 cars? You know how many drivers there are who are extremely popular? Like, yes, it will be a loss, but it's not going to be an F1 defining loss of, oh my gosh, F1 was just going up, skyrocketing in popularity. Then Max Verstappen said, I don't want to drive these cars. They're not like the ground effect cars I used to dominate with. And now all of a sudden F1's not good anymore and nobody's watching it anymore. Just stop. No. Go away or drive your car. Yeah. You know what? Copy the Toto message and give it to Max as well. Just drive.
Do you want this message or double it and give it to the next driver?
Right. Max, you're doing a really good George impression right now. Oh, fuck.
Oh, that'd piss him off. He might drive 100 miles an hour down the speed right into his garage, and he might just torpedo somebody in his garage because, good Lord, that would piss him off. But I think somebody needs to do it.
Great. I
because
volunteer.
We're gonna rage bait Max into
but I mean, that's exactly what it is, and it's frustrating. All right. Ebony, time for your gloomy and then your zoomy boy.
my gloomy is Kimi. It just was a weird weekend for the kid, and I feel bad, but man, like we said, like he was driving to the instructions of his engineers that wasn't coming in time. Because like, if you remember, he pitted immediately right before the virtual safety car. And they're like, why would you do that? And they're like, well, he had committed to it. He wanted to do it. And they're like, okay, but you're the engineer. Why would you not say something? And they're like, he's already committed. And it's those moments where he's trying to be that driver that can be like, no, I can do this. I can stay out. But there was far too many times where he was also like, tell me what to do. And that just comes with experience. Like, you missing the yellow, like the single yellow flag versus the double yellow flag, the pit, the first 3 laps. Like, I don't know how he didn't get a black and white flag in that, but
Seriously.
and then you're gonna tell me he never went off the track again for the rest of the race? I don't believe you.
Yeah, not the way he drives. One thing I am concerned about is Kimi learning the wrong lesson. If there's a double yellow, he ain't slowing down at all. Like, he's not going to slow down ever again until somebody tells him, Kimi, stand on your brakes. You need to not. Because I'm worried that he saw what happened with George and he was like, all right, then, never lift. I hear it loud and clear. And it's like, Kimi, please.
No. That's where you need Bono to come in and be like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
By the way, now that I think about it, I do think that they kind of messed that up because Max was still in his car. If somebody else goes off at that corner, they're going to end up right where Max is. And that would have been a really bad crash. So the fact that they didn't double yellow, or they did, but then it came either too late or whatever, that was weird to me. Normally when a car is off like that and they were saying like they thought he could get it restarted, he's in gravel. You don't get out of gravel when you're an F1 car. So that didn't make any sense to me. But anyway, we don't have time to get into that. Sorry, Ebony.
So yeah, it's poor Kimi. Hopefully he learned something from this weekend, and hopefully it's not the wrong thing. And hopefully, like you said, those conversations are being had where he's just like, hey, buddy, let's learn how to manage all the things around you so that you stop this. Because you are still in the lead. You just got to drive correctly. And I bet he's calling Lewis, and I don't know if Lewis is picking up the phone. But
I mean, that time change from LA to wherever we are in Europe to Calabasas is that's hefty.
It is a lot. It is a lot. But I do think there is a lesson in here for Kimi as well, because as close as he was getting to Max at the end, he could have had second place hauls of points. And not saying that you need to like be at the point where like he has quite a substantial lead still, but it's a long season. And things like this, getting third when you should have second, can cost you at the end.
Yeah. Well, and if he keeps driving, and I know we're tight on time, but like, if he keeps driving the way that he's driving, that 40-point lead disappears quickly. Because if George keeps going the way that he's going and he keeps getting first or second, or, you know, he's got a big potential points weekend coming up. And if Kimi keeps driving like a chaos monster, then like that 40-point lead so fast. Like, all that it takes is a couple
2 races.
Two races.
We got 8 points up for grabs for first place in the sprint race, 25 obviously for the Grand Prix. That's 33 points. And I think his lead over George right now is what, 46?
I thought it was 40, but
is it 40? Okay, he might be 46 above. Is he 46 above Lewis?
I think they're 171 and 140. Oh, that's not even 40. That is 30. Whoops. If that's the case, then yeah. So that can change very quickly. Obviously, Kimi would have to not get points in both of those races, but still, it's closer with the Leclerc. So like,
yeah, it can happen.
It can change.
Oh, and my Zoomy was Max.
How dare you?
I'm so sorry.
That is so disappointing.
You're zoomy and gloomy, Mr. Andre.
I mean, what? Listen, we already talked about my gloomy boy, and it's Charles. I just think he's second to eighth. That's not good. Without a crash, without any like real damage. There may have been some damage that came in one of the little battles, but I think they said that maybe the car was fine at the end of the day. But yeah, that he is not having a good time. We already talked about him and what he needs to do to like clear his head. I think there's just a lot going on with him, and I am really sad about the way that he's driving and the way that he's talking more so than anything else. So I am very concerned about that because he is a really good driver, and he's coming up against like the real Lewis Hamilton. Like Lewis Hamilton feels it now, and he's struggling with that. And I didn't see this coming. I thought Charles was pretty stable with his mindset. I know he can be really hard on himself, but usually he does that and he bounces right back. He's kind of having like a similar Lewis funk from last year where he's just down on himself and he's staying down on himself, and it's affecting his performances week to week. That's where I'm concerned about him. So he's my gloomy boy, and I hope he gets out of it. Yeah. Bortoletto is my
that's where you got me. I was like...
Bortoletto has done a good job in that car. I think he's been like, I think Audi is one of those, like, they have a great chassis. It's really just like the engine that is the problem, and hoping that they can do something about that. But Bortoletto and Hawk feel like two teammates who are pretty close to each other. And in this qualifying, Bortoletto out-qualified Hulk by like 4/10. That's like a margin that we haven't seen from them. He qualified 12th and Hulk was 14th, which if you look at the time, he put a lot of distance between him and Hulk with the same machinery. And I think that's impressive. So I just think that he had an overall good, he didn't score points, obviously, in the weekend. So that's unfortunate. But I do think that he had one of those weekends where he finished ahead of his out-qualified Hulk, finished a place ahead of Hulk, had a decent race. And if they can get that car, that engine just tweaked a little bit more, because they have that a duo as well. I think they're going to have two opportunities to upgrade their engine this year and next, that we might be able to see Audi look pretty good. And I want to see Bortoletto look good because I remember that bullshit that Helmut Marko said about him last year. And I like to see Lewis is an honorary Brazilian, but F1's very different when you have a real Brazilian driver who is good and can score points and can put in a good performance. I want to see that, and I want him to be there by the time we get to Brazil in 2026. So I think he had a great weekend, and that's why I'm calling him out.
I love that.
There it is. See, you came around to it. There it is. And we try to, that's why we go through it, because we try to touch on as many drivers and teams as we can. We were never going, again, everything else that happened, we were never going to a natural conversation bring up Audi and Bortoletto. But here it is. We did it. We did it in Zoomy and Gloomy. All right. As we said, we will have a review for our preview from Silverstone coming up, because that is the next race. It is July 5th, but it also is a sprint weekend. So we will have a lot to talk about, because good Lord, and I'm terrified for Ferrari in this race, and I'll get into it. Why? Because power limited engine on a track like Silverstone does not spark joy for me. So we will see. Ebony, though, before we go, can you please tell the people about all the work that you've been putting into what we have to drop, and how and where people can get DRS FC merch?
Okay, so we obviously are a soccer nerds. So we definitely had to have a jersey. So it was a really cool opportunity. We did a lot of collaborating back and forth. Shout out to Stimulus. They really made the process very easy. So we ended up with two different stores, one for our jerseys and one for just like general merch. So we will make sure to include links into the description for both. But I hope you guys enjoy it. It was so much fun to create jerseys again. If you don't know, I created the jerseys for my SG here in North Carolina. I no longer have that team. So I took a year off of making kits. And this was a really fun way to get back into it. So I hope everybody enjoys it. And I appreciate everybody for listening and requesting that the merch be made. You really put a fire under me to do it. And I hope you all enjoy. So please get your Delulu Island shirt and join us for the heartbreak that is normally Ferrari.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, shout out to you. You've been hard at work at this. It's been like your project for a while, and it's great to see it finally come and become real. And so yeah, go check out both the stores, check out the jerseys because they're dope. Check out the store because it has a lot of cool stuff. And again, highly recommend the Delulu Island shirts.
The main thing about these is that they're affordable.
There
a lot of F1 merch is not. Our jerseys are $45 with customization. Okay. So for a night at a dive bar, you can have a DRS FC jersey. I've done it. I tried it. I tested that theory. Okay.
There you go. For some factory nachos and a slice of cheesecake, you too can have DRS FC merch, and I think you should. And that is very true because look, I have been on some of the team websites, and I did buy an Oscar Piastri shirt, like a T-shirt, but stuff is like tremendously overpriced. And I get it. This sport is nothing but money, money, money. But like, it's a hat. Can it not be $60?
Literally.
Like,
I think our shirts are like $18.
Yeah.
Jerseys $45. Jackets are like $50. You're paying $200 for the Miami jersey with Disney.
Yeah, I was gonna buy a hood. I think I was gonna buy a Williams hoodie, and I just couldn't. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I was like, I can't. And I love a hoodie, but it was like $120. I was like, I can't spend over $100 on a hoodie. I know that maybe makes me sound broke. Then fuck it, I'm broke. Like I can't. I just can't in good conscience do that. Right. I have plenty of hoodies, and none of them cost that much money. So no. But this is dope. F1 merch needs to be more accessible, and this is. So thank you very much, Ebony, for the hard work and putting all that together. It's really, really cool to see. So we'll put links in there in the show notes, in the description of the podcast so that people can go and check it out and get your shit. And if you buy something, tag us. Let us know. Put it on social, get whatever you get, and put it on social. Let us know. We'll share it, and we'll be deeply appreciative because it's really, really cool that people are along for this ride, and it'll be dope. So thank you very much. All right, that's it. We're done podcasting. We'll be back sometime this week with a preview of Silverstone. But until then, for Rachel and Ebony, I'm Andre. Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom.